back in. Now, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing our very first 1.0 mock draft with getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins, right? We're going to try to trade him away to a contending team, and that's going to be one of the hardest things to do because I want DeAndre Hopkins to stay, but let's be honest, it's probably inevitable that the Arizona Cardinals are going to go through some sort of rebuild, and some more capital would be very nice, right? Now, I'm going to try to be as most realistic as I possibly can. I get it. Most Cardinal fans want a first-round pick for DeAndre Hopkins. We might not be able to get that, but we're going to go ahead and do our best to get as much value back for the Cardinals as we possibly can. As always, definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and also subscribe if this is your first time here. We're going to be doing a lot more mock drafts throughout the entirety, kind of leading up to the NFL draft season. So I'm very, very excited about that. But let's go ahead and get my screen share up and rolling so you guys can take a look to see where we're dealing with right now. We are going to be using the PFF simulator for this 7-round mock draft. I got everything ready to go. All I need to do is get rid of DeAndre Hopkins. Like I mentioned a little earlier, you can name about 5 or 6, maybe 7, 8 different teams that can very well benefit from getting a DeAndre Hopkins. But what I want to do is I want to trade him away to the Patriots. I feel like, I don't know, there's something about Belichick and DeAndre Hopkins. I feel like that would be really, really cool tandem to see. And at one point, I feel like they really like each other. I don't know. I'm just kind of, spitballing out there right now. Now, I get it. Most people are going to be like, we'll get their first round pick. I don't think that's going to be attainable, but I do think that we can get a second rounder. Now, if we do somehow get the second rounder, I think that is a huge win, but that's not all we're going after, right? We're also going to go after their 117th overall pick, right? Because DeAndre Hopkins is still an elite wide receiver. So there's that, and then let's also say they'll throw a 5th our way as well. So that's what we're going to be dealing with. But as you can tell, this PFF simulator is not going to accept this. I don't get it. I don't understand why. So we're going to force this trade. They're going to give us their 46th overall, their 117th overall, and then the 5th round for 2024. And we're going to give them DeAndre Hopkins. So let's force this bad boy up. Let's get DeAndre Hopkins over there and let's start this draft. Now, let's take a look to see who went first. So Jalen Carter went first overall. We got Bryce Young going. Now, that's kind of a good thing. I'm glad Jalen Carter went first because obviously everybody knows what's going on with Jalen Carter. It might be a little too rich for the Arizona Cardinals. So I think this is going to be an easy way for us to snag Will Anderson here. Now, I get there's multiple people that want to trade, especially with how good the quarterbacks did, right? That we probably can hear from, 7, 8, or 9, right? And I mean, the teams that are in those positions that want to trade up. But I'm going to do my due diligence. I'm going to get the best player available on the board, and I'm going to get Will Anderson Jr. So we're going to go with that. We're going to rock and roll. Now, we have a lot of picks. As you can tell right here, our remaining picks, we got the 34th, the 46th, the 66th, the 96th. We got a lot of picks in the top 100. So I'm really excited about that. Let's take a look to see who has kind of gone before. Here we go. Okay, so this is what we're dealing with right now. We got our edge player. Now we can go ahead and get Deonte Banks. If we go ahead and click into his name, we can take a look at his, stature and kind of like, make a best guesstimate if you want him. Now, he is definitely a player that I'm kind of leaning towards. It's either him or I'm also thinking about Emmanuel Forbes because I think a cornerback is a very good position to also address, but also we got so many holes with this Arizona Cardinal roster, right? We also could go ahead and address, guard. We could also address center, which I know there's going to be a lot of people that kind of say, you should have done this, you should have done that, right? But I think in this position, I think what I'm going to do, I want to go after Emmanuel Forbes. I really want to get him. I think I might pull the trigger and go that route. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and get Emmanuel Forbes. Let's get our cornerback. But honestly, I think there's other cornerbacks that look very, very good in this draft as well. Now, the great thing is that we do have the 46th overall pick from trading away DeAndre Hopkins. So we can take a look to see who is still available. Now, one of my best, I guess, centers out there is John Michael Schmidt. That is a player that I do want, and look who is there. We can go that. We can go John Michael Schmidt, or we can go Matthew Bergenson, or we can get a wide receiver with Keyshawn Boutte. A lot of good players still here on the board, right? Or Joe Tippmann. So to me, yes, Luke Weipler is still there, but I think John Michael Schmidt to me is the best center. Could also go tackle as well. There's a lot of good people still on here. Now, our next pick is the 66th overall. Let's take a look here to see who's still on the board. Let's keep scrolling down. Now, I think it's important because we did get rid of our wide receiver that we have to address the right wide receiver as well. Now, our pick is coming up in the next 20 picks. Wide receivers kind of look a little thin because I'm looking for a wide receiver that actually has height, right? I don't want to get a smaller wide receiver. I feel like we have a lot of those in our team right now. So let's go John Michael Schmidt for our 46th overall pick, and let's see who falls to the Arizona Cardinals. And we'll kind of play the waiting game at this very moment. Okay. So this is what we're dealing with. We got the 66, the 96, and the 105th. So we got a lot of picks coming our way. Now, I do like Garrett Williams out of Syracuse, but if we were to keep searching here to see who else we can possibly snag, Tank Bigsby still there. Let's keep scrolling down. So the next pick it's like 30 picks away. Let's take a look to see what wide receivers are there. Now, this might be a reach. A lot of people might consider this a reach. Let's go ahead and go to the wide receivers and see. So we got Michael Wilson. Cedric Tillman is there, and that's a guy that I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of worried about the drop between 66 to 96. There's a big drop right there. I might go that route, but I do like Garrett Williams as well. Let's keep scrolling, see here. Let's see who else is there. Okay, let's go that route. And like I said, this might be a reach to some people, and I'm fully aware that this might be a reach to some people, but I want to make sure that I get a tall wide receiver that's 6'3". Come on. Like, I mean, you kind of have to pull the trigger. And I have been through these multiple mock drafts that by the time we get to 96, he's already gone. So I'm going to go and pull the trigger, and I'm going to go that route. Now, it does say that I do need to get, more cornerback, center. All right. My needs are still up here. So let's see who has fallen here to the Arizona Cardinals. Now, I know he's had a pretty good combine. Is it Travius Hodgins Tomlinson? But let's take a look here. Got the 96 and we got the 105th overall. Let's keep it looking here. Let's see who else is going to be available for the Arizona Cardinals. I like the idea of possibly getting a running back in my personal opinion, because there is another cornerback that I do have my eye on that I can possibly get at 117 or maybe the 169th overall. So we're going to do, I think we're going to go ahead and take a flyer here. We're going to take a flyer here and get Tank Bigsby, running back out of Auburn. I want a running back. I know some people don't think that that's a big need, but I do feel like we got to somehow get another running back. And I feel like that's kind of good value right there. Let's keep it going here. Let's see who else we can possibly snag. We do got a 105th pick right now. Now, I want Andrew Voorhees so darn bad right here. I think Andrew Voorhees is going to be somebody that I definitely want. Let's take a look to see what wide receivers are still available. Trey Palmer. Okay, I think what I might do here, I'm going to go ahead and snag Voorhees to help out our guard position. Okay, perfect. Let's take a look to see who went. Oh, so DJ Turner was my cornerback that I wanted to snag later on, but it seems like he ended up going. Jonathan Mingo was another guy that I wanted to get. So sometimes you just have to kind of pull the trigger, right? Even if the value doesn't seem great, per this mock drafts, you got to go with your gut and get the guy you need. So if that's the position that we're in right now, I do want to double down in cornerback. Now, yes, he is 5'9", but I do believe he actually had a pretty good combine. I feel like this would be a pretty cool steal to get him right here. But let's take a look to see the available cornerbacks. Jalen Jones is still there. Mekhi Gardner is still there as well. But let's do that. Let's go ahead and pull the trigger, and let's go ahead and bring in Travius Hodgins Tomlinson out of TCU. You are now a member of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is going to be where the waiting game starts, right? This is going to be where we're going to be waiting a long time. We got the 169th overall, we got the 180th, and then we got the 213. So this is where we are at right now. All right, let's take a look here. I think an interior defensive lineman would be really good and ideal, but I do like the idea of getting Chandler Zavala, guard out of North Carolina State. Like I said, I want to bolster our trenches. I feel like that's one of the most important things that a lot of people don't really talk about for the Cardinals. We need to start building young. That's what I would love to do. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and bring in our guy. Where did he go? We're going to do. I must have missed him. Here it is. Okay, Chandler Zavala. Let's do that. I know we doubled down on guard, but hey, we're gonna rock and roll. Okay, now one of the things that I probably am still very high on is I want to go ahead and get a quarterback. I know there's gonna be people saying, "Why are you gonna get a quarterback?" Because honestly, this is to me what the Cardinals should do. And to me, we've drafted Clayton Tune so many times in this draft. And I know this guy has been linked to the Cardinals as well, Dorian Thompson Robinson. We can very well wait to the 213. He might still be there. Granted, it is over 30 picks away. I want to get Clayton Tune so bad, or even Aiden O'Connell. Let's see who else is still available. Let's keep it scrolling here. This tight end is pretty good. But we don't really need tight end. And I want people that are actually going to be showing up. I saw Jake Bobo. He's interesting. Might double down on that. Maybe double down on a wide receiver. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll double down on a wide receiver. No, I think I'm going to get Clayton Tune. I'm sorry. I keep doing it. I can't resist, ladies and gentlemen. I can't resist it. I think to me, like, this is just a no-brainer. You have to go for him if he's there. Okay, so now we have these people available. Elijah Higgins, 6'3". Ooh, okay. We can possibly get a good wide receiver here towards the end. Also, Jake Bobo's there as well. Let's see what Jake Bobo's. Looking up his stats right now for his last year. 800, 6'5", 215 pounds, 7 touchdowns. This is going to be where, it's going to be interesting for the Cardinals here. I also got Keontae Thompson. It was. All right, I'm going to try to look at Keontae Thompson here. 6'5". I don't know. He kind of reminds me. Let's see who else. Elijah Higgins, man. I keep going back to him. I think I might do that. I think I'm going to go Elijah Higgins. I think that's what I'm going to do. Double down on another tall wide receiver. So now I feel like we've addressed a lot of the needs for the Arizona Cardinals, and I get it, right? You don't want to go based off of needs. That's Steve Keim's thing, man. This is my thing here. And like I said, there might be some reaches on here, so please keep in mind of that. Let's take a look to see what this mock draft simulator has kind of voted us. Okay, so we got an A+ for Will Anderson, no brainer. Emmanuel Forbes, A-. John Michael Schmidt, we got a B+. And that's where we traded DeAndre Hopkins. We got a D on Cedric Tillman. That, like I said, that might have been a reach, and I know that's going to be a reach per this, this simulator. But I like them. We also got Tate Bigsby, Andrew Voorhees. We got a B. Another cornerback, Chandler Zavala, Clayton Tune, Elijah Higgins, and then we got an A-, ladies and gentlemen. This right here, this mock draft might be it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you guys think about this mock draft, because we address the offensive line. We got pretty much the interior locked down, right? So if we got DJ and then we got Kelvin Beachum coming back, we got the interior locked down with some young talent. We got some tall wide receivers. We got some cornerbacks. We got a quarterback. Yo, I think this is it, yo. I think this is it right here. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. What would you have done different that I did? Let me know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. As always, have a great rest of your day and go Cards.